I've experienced a lot of pain and hurt around relationships and sexuality. Whew. If there's anybody watching that knows me, wow, this is really going to blow your mind. There was a period of time, let's see, there was a period of time from when I moved out of the house from living with my parents. I started going to nightclubs a lot. In '91, I would say that is technically when I gave away my virginity, and that is what I call it. Some people call it. There's even a movie called Losing It. You don't lose your virginity like you lost your glasses or you lost your wallet. You choose to give it to someone or give it away, unless you've been sexually assaulted or something. But you choose to give it away. So I had met a woman in a nightclub who was drunk and approached me and was flirting with me, and I went with her back to her place. So the event happens. Afterward, I find out that she is on the rebound from a boyfriend who was, I think, either cheating on her or had mistreated her in some way, and I was basically a revenge. And that was my first real sexual experience. Someone using me for revenge. And I remember telling her that I wished I hadn't done it. And she said to me, "You didn't have a choice." When things got really bad in my life in terms of my sexual activity, I would say I developed sexual addiction. And I still struggle with it to this day. I went to Emotions Anonymous, I went to Sex Addicts Anonymous, Sexaholics Anonymous, Sex, Love, and Relationships Anonymous. There's so many. And some people might think that's funny or they might laugh, but when you're really struggling and when you're really desperate and you need answers and you need help, you'll do anything. At least I can recognize I have a problem. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't even think they have a problem. I don't believe that people ever completely heal, in my opinion, and at least not in this lifetime. I just don't want to look back on my life and just see a bunch of little episodes that ended in nothing. My name's Lindley, I'm 35 years old, I'm a recovering sex addict, and I'm committed to being celibate until I'm married.
Do you know what born-again virginity is?
Someone that like to have sex a whole lot, then stop, and yeah.
You mean you've had intercourse and then you say you're not going to have it and then you're... Technicality, I guess?
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
The original plan was no sex. And deviating from the original plan, bad results. The last time I had sex was in October of 2000, and I guess you could call me a born-again virgin. Personally, I don't really like that term. I prefer to say that I reclaimed my virginity. It's like the conscious decision to no longer have sexual intercourse with anyone until after I am married. I didn't like myself when I was having sex because I knew that the people that I was having sex with didn't care about me at all. At all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, there was some, like, minor pretense of, like, a dating relationship. But really, like, if I was having a hard day, it'd be like, oh, you had a hard day, let's have sex. Like, that's, like, that doesn't feel good. People who don't care about what's going on in your life, they just want to have sex with you. Like, that's not good. That doesn't feel good. People, being with people who don't care about you, that's not worth the consequences. Like that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, of physical pleasure just isn't worth the years of regret, remorse, depression. I knew that I had to change my choices because I was just making stupid choices. It's definitely not easy to stop having sex after you've started having sex, just because of the nature of sex. Like, sex is something that bonds you to someone else, and to try to stop that, it's a huge challenge. I need to regret this because I've done an awful thing. You know, like I have taken one of the best gifts that I could ever give someone and I've just like thrown it away. In reclaiming my virginity, like I have to accept the fact that like physically I have made this choice and, you know, like biologically or technically I'm not a virgin. And that's kind of hard. Like I think if I could change one thing about my body, like that would definitely be it. And I'd be like, hymen please.
A membrane partly covers the entrance to the vagina. This is the hymen, or maidenhead. Its absence does not mean lack of virginity, since it may be accidentally broken during childhood.
The hymen is sort of a junctional membrane between the external genitalia, the vulva, and the entrance to the vagina. I'm basically creating a new ring and a new sort of membrane in that area, which usually bleeds, although no one can guarantee that, whether they're a true virgin or a reconstructed virgin. I think this type of procedure is necessary to do for certain patients. And I have no qualms accepting and doing the procedure, because for some people cultural needs are very important, and I don't see why women should be stigmatized or killed because they're not a virgin on their wedding night. Their family, by and large, from what I'm told, would be disgraced. And if they're very, very fundamental, it would be up to the father or one of the brothers to arrange something that would bring the family's honor back. It's the only procedure I do where if it doesn't work, my patient may be murdered. Persia, Syria, Egypt, Iraq, Afghanistan, even Russia. I've never been concerned for my safety because it's a cultural issue in a sense. If I was a brother or a father, I'd rather be aware that my daughter had a repair than have to kill her. I don't think a Western woman or even a Western doctor can fully appreciate or understand the predicament that some of these patients are in. It is their whole life. Their life is destroyed. The secrecy is so important that even for a woman to discuss this on camera and be camouflaged, she does stand the risk of exposure.
My mom would tell me, like, if you were back home and if you weren't in Canada, that it would be death for you. Like, that's how serious it would be, because it's just not acceptable for a girl to be with somebody, because you're just not supposed to do things like that. I am going to be 18 soon, and I'm from the Middle East, from Syria, actually.
When did you lose your virginity?
I lost it when I was 15 on my birthday. Well, our religion is Islam, we're Muslims, and about virginity, it's just, we don't believe in sex before marriage. It's just to be pure for the husband. It's a big shame to have had sex before you were married, and that's all they think of it as. It's just disgust. I don't feel ashamed at all. It's just because in my heart I feel like I did nothing wrong. I was with a guy who I cared about very much, and you know, I showed him how I cared, so I really don't think that was wrong. It was my mom who actually came and she approached me and she said she's been searching for a doctor, and you know, that really got me upset because I had no idea about it, and she's been going behind my back trying to find doctors who would actually perform this. So I had no idea, to tell you the truth, about this at all. I was against it 110%. I didn't want to do this. I just thought it was something to me that was just disgusting. It just wasn't right. And then after, you know, I just took some time, and I've been thinking about it for the past few months, and I, you know, thought it would be probably best for me to do it. For sure, if I was back home, then this would be like the worst thing ever to, you know, possibly be. And since there is no option of having the surgery back home in the Middle East, then like there's a lot of girls who are in trouble back there, you know, and so they're really out of options. They either take a chance and hope for the best that the guy will accept what she's done, and you know, or she's either, that's it, her life is completely crushed. My mom wants everything on the low key. She wants everybody to just never know about this, you know. She wants me to do this and never talk about it again, ever. But culture, once you leave it, it's really hard for your family to accept you to come back into the family. So for me, it was either culture or sex. But sex you can have anytime. You can get married and just that's it. but then culture, like I said, it's really hard to get it back and have people respect you again. So I basically chose, my culture over sex. But